I think I wouldn't say ruined because it felt like that was the setup in and of itself.
Yeah.
Like I didn't feel like the crew was intruding or stepping over a line.
It was already out there in the open. If Jian Hao was appearing in your proposal video, he could actually take over your video if anyone.
Yeah. So that's why this whole thing feels like right from the start, it was something where this was like a production,
Yeah.
If you are looking for something to make you the most interesting person at your next dinner party, check out Tell You First, our new podcast series. In every episode, Terence and I dive into mind-blowing topics you never knew you needed to know. We've talked about why Singapore TV peaked in the 1990s, the history of beer brewing in Singapore, and even why the government banned long hair until the 1980s. It's entertaining, educational, and edgy, with a touch of good old humor and that Singaporean flavor. For every episode, only one of us knows the details about the topic, while the other is completely clueless. Perfect for comedy and learning, of course. So go ahead and click on the link in our bio or search for the Tell You First podcast on the Me Listen app, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. And now, on to the podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terence?
Good old humor.
Good old humor, man.
Yeah.
And how was your weekend, man?
Okay, man. Like gearing up for the biggest festivities of the year, lah. Right.
Which festivity, Terence?
There's a little religious festival called Deepavali, man.
Deepavali, man. Which is this Thursday, lah.
Yeah. And I mean, it clashes with another religious or sort of pagan festival, right? Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween.
Yeah. So which one's your priority?
I would say Deepavali. Deepavali. Because I mean, I haven't celebrated Halloween for a long time. And I mean, normally also Deepavali is quite low-key for us. So same thing, this one we are going to a family member's house for a short while.
Yeah.
And then that's keeping it chill, keeping it chill.
I see. Any candles, fireworks or anything? Not fireworks, but sparklers or anything?
Not sparklers. There are those candles that my mom would put outside our house.
Yeah.
But that's her thing, lah. I mean, it's just, it's nothing too crazy, lah. I know there are a lot of Deepavali or Diwali balls going around.
Balls? Okay. How does that work?
Like parties.
Oh, but they're called balls.
Yeah.
Like you have to dress up and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's all for the fancy, the people who want to dress up, go there to be seen and be seen. They go to the Diwali balls, lah.
So you're not invited, lah, I suppose.
Hey. It's more I don't go. I don't go. I mean, there's like the Cindy Diwali ball, which I don't think you have to apply, you just buy a ticket, lah, but normally it's not cheap, lah.
I see.
Yeah, so over the years, I don't think I've ever been.
Yeah.
So I'm not familiar with the intricacies of what happens there, lah.
Okay. But there's no chance of celebrating both Diwali and Halloween on the same night, lah. Once you go from one party to the other.
I mean, technically you could.
Yeah.
Like if you wear really some ethnic wear and then you go to a club, I think people might just think that you are dressing up as an Indian person.
I see.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're Indian, then it's not really dressing up really. Right?
I mean, they might think maybe this is a dark-skinned non-Indian person dressing up as Indian. And then it might open up, a can of worms. Like, is this cultural appropriation or some shit like that?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure somewhere in the world, someone will be doing that. Or somewhere in Singapore.
Yeah, I mean, in Singapore, they're already announcing the light up for the Christmas decorations in an Orchard. Like the week before Deepavali, they announced that this light up is happening. It's almost like they're encouraging people to look beyond really.
Where is this announced?
I think I saw in the newspaper.
I mean, it's a yearly thing. They announced.
Yeah, they announced when the dates will be. They announced when the dates will be. That's
so
right.
This Christmas light up is just like a few days. It will be lit up, or it's like a 1 hour musical fountain kind of thing.
No. I think it's just the act of lighting it up in November.
Oh,
it's a big thing. Yeah.
I see. I know every year the same thing happens, lah. Because Deepavali is never a fixed date, right?
Yeah.
So especially when it's closer to December, this thing always comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I know you love, pointing it out.
No, I don't. I'm offended. I'm offended.
No, you're offended. I'm offended.
I know. I do feel like there's a lot that we, even in the Deepavali episode that we did on Tell You First.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interesting things about Deepavali. and a lot of significance in, say, lighting up, right? Lighting up candles and putting them around. Because I think it's like...
It's a festival of lights.
It's a festival of lights because it's supposed to... There's no moon, right? And you overcome the darkness and something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, all these little nuances. It's quite embarrassing in Singapore. There are a lot of Singaporeans who don't know them also, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it is weird, like waiting like a week or two. It's not going to be a big deal, you know.
Yeah.
You either announce it way ahead, but if it really happened last week,
What?
The announcement of the lights.
I think maybe in the last few days, last week, details about Orchard Road Christmas Light Up 2024. The 14-meter tall Christmas tree.
Firefly Garden and snow shows.
Nightly snowfall shows, yeah.
Returns November 9th.
But I mean, okay lah, it's... they have to announce it in advance also, right? They can't like hold off and not announce it.
Yeah. So it's just, I mean, I'm sure somewhere online, some people are complaining already.
Yeah. But you're okay, you're fine with it.
I mean, I think also maybe because this year, like in the things to the things to worry about, this is probably not the highest. This is probably not the highest.
The battle of the festivals. And then Halloween threw its head in.
Yeah, that's right. So you got Halloween horrors, Diwali balls, and Christmas lights.
All jostling for the same real estate in your brain.
Jostling. Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing that happens when the festival is not a fixed date.
Yeah.
You know, around the world, universally, everybody knows what 25th December is.
Correct.
Right?
And October 31st for Halloween also.
Halloween. And even Thanksgiving is fixed, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of other festivals are not.
Yeah.
Right? So in fact, those are the anomalies, and maybe that's why like Christmas almost feels like a celebratory time for the whole world. Right? Even if you're not celebrating it.
Correct.
Because everybody knows December 25th.
Yeah.
Whereas for Deepavali it's different.
So yeah, if you want to, if you really want to, get them riled up with each other, just remember that Halloween and Christmas are also directly opposite. Like if it was a triple threat match in wrestling, they'd be fighting each other.
Also, Deepavali would tag team with Halloween.
Either one, you stand the side and watch the two of them fight first. And then after you jump in.
But I'm assuming Deepavali, because Deepavali might have an issue with Halloween also.
Same day. Correct. This year, same day.
This year, same day. But then Halloween will be like, yo, Deepavali. Last year, you were different. Then this year, you want to take want to crib my style. That's true.
Yeah.
Triple threat match.
And Halloween, people who celebrate Christmas probably don't like Halloween so much, right? Halloween, I think, people who celebrate Halloween are kids and generally, people in their 20s, right?
Yeah, who want to hook up.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's true.
Battle of the festivals. But this a week, even though it's a sort of a truncated week, right? But we're still pumping out them episodes.
Yeah, man.
Interesting guests coming on.
Interesting
things to talk about.
Yeah.
But today's episode will be trudging a lot of familiar territory, right?
Yeah. Which is also surprising.
Surprising.
And it's going to sound like we're repeating the same old shit, but trust me, we're not.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of the news cycle.
Correct.
The topic will be familiar, but before that, what's our regular spiel?
If you enjoyed this podcast, please like, share, follow, subscribe on whichever platform you're listening or watching this on. That really helps us get the word out about the podcast and for new people to partake in this very exciting event that is the Yellow Bud Podcast, right?
Yes. And if you want to work with us, just hit us up at ministryoffunny.com, drop us a message there, or email us at contact@ministryoffunny.com.
Yeah.
It can be something to work with us, to be a brand who wants to sponsor our episodes, or just do cool shit. Because we do have some cool shit in the works.
Yeah.
Right, which we will hopefully announce in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
But before that, we got to talk about some news.
Yes, we mentioned that this is kind of like news that we're dragging out from our archives to talk about again.
Yeah.
What is this development on this piece of news?
I mean, we talked about it a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm honestly sick of talking about this, but there's some new developments which are quite interesting. It is the case of 38 Oxley Road, with the latest development being a Facebook post by Lee Hsien Yang on a Friday morning, so morning of October 25th, where Lee Hsien Yang posted on his Facebook page a direct message to PM Lawrence Wong. And I'll just read certain excerpts. PM Lawrence Wong, the decision on 38 Oxley Road is your responsibility. In Lee Kuan Yew's will, he wished for his house to be demolished. quotes, immediately after, Wei-Ling was not there. The time for the decision is now. And then goes on to point out, PM Wong's role when the furniture and artifacts from Lee Kuan Yew's home were gifted and exhibited at the National Museum. That PM Wong was also on the ministerial committee from 2016 to 2018, which took, in his words, many hours of ministers' times to consider options for Lee Kuan Yew's home. And he ends off, "This is your responsibility. You have had 9 years to consider. Further delay would trample on the last wishes of Lee Kuan Yew, whom you claim to honor. Please lead." And then there's a funky graphic that maybe he used Canva to do, with Lee Hsien Loong in the background, PM Wong in the foreground, and MBS in the background to the left.
Yeah, all in a very sickly shade of blue.
Yeah,
right?
Sickly shade of blue.
Or grey, grey maybe,
Yeah, so then the government responded, including NHB, and a spokesperson from MDDI kind of, called out Lee Hsien Yang for creating a false urgency for it to be torn down immediately, and claimed that Lee Hsien Yang knows the inaccuracy of his claim. So, I mean, the last time we spoke about this, Lee Hsien Yang was asking for it to be demolished. We were sharing our own thoughts on what we feel should be done to 38 Oxley Road. But what stood out to you from this latest development, and why the hell are we still talking about it?
I think now we're starting to see everyone sort of moving their chess pieces already, right? Because it's more than just Lee Hsien Yang and Lee Hsien Loong involved. Like you mentioned, the state has gotten involved. So URA, the NHB first stepping in to study the site of Oxley Road, right? To assess significance for preservation. URA has deferred the evaluation of Lee Hsien Yang's application to demolish Oxley Road. As you mentioned, MDDI, has responded with a, very matter-of-factly kind of press release stating the inaccuracies in what Lee Hsien Yang is saying. I mean, new words are false urgency, right?
Yeah.
Another fake thing that we have to deal with. Right? False urgency. Yeah. That's a new one.
And untruth.
Untruth. Yeah.
Urgency that is untrue.
Yeah. False urgency. That's what I'm going to use to, every time someone says that, every time someone's very kanchong, I'm going to use that line from now on. Please, no false urgency here. No false urgency.
No false urgency.
So and apparently just looking at it, MCCY will also get involved in terms of delivering the decision about this.
And it's Edwin Tong again.
Yeah, Win Tong again, yeah.
Tong again.
Correct. So, a lot of institutions all getting involved, which is interesting because you can see what Lee Hsien Yang's playbook is, right? He is directly addressing Lawrence Wong and, using words like saying it's your responsibility and all that. But again, from the state, you're hearing that it's not just like this false urgency is not true, right? It's basically all the institutions need their time to work through all the different things to assess the site.
Yeah. But I'm just wondering why the spokesperson is from MDDI, which is the Ministry of Digital Development and Information. Is it because the query came through the digital platform Facebook? Possibly,
yeah, because they used to be known as MCI, right? Ministry of Communications and Information.
Yeah.
So the flow of information is something that they got over. Yeah.
MDD, yeah.
MDDI. But I mean, for you, when you hear about it, because the last time we spoke about Lee Hsien Yang, it was more about him applying for political refugee status in the UK, right?
Yeah.
Or at least allegedly getting political refugee status. But now it's we're seeing the chess pieces move on Oxley.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
First of all, I'm getting more sick about this than I have felt.
Yeah.
To the point, right, that, okay, so I did learn some new things over the past few days from, researching about this case. Granted, what Lee Hsien Yang has done, which is apply for it to be demolished, and the announcement that, NHB will study it. But if you ask me, I know the last time I was like, you know what, maybe this should be demolished so that everyone can move on, which then kind of evolved to okay, yeah, there's still something to preserve there because it is a monumental time in Singapore's history, and that is a place where some very impactful and meaningful stuff happen.
Yeah.
Right, for better or worse, because I know some people have different perceptions of that historical monument. But at this point now, right, I think maybe it's also seeing how things are developing. I'm like, we should just preserve the hell out of it.
So you swung the other way to the opposite end of the spectrum.
Maybe it's also because over the past weekend, now whenever I got some free time and I just want to veg out, I would either watch Friends with my wife, or sometimes go back to old videos of Manchester United in its heyday. And okay, so if you don't watch football and all, I think it still applies when, you see these people who are so passionate, so talented, be part of something. But one thing that the great Sir Alex Ferguson always said is that no one person is bigger than the club. Which I've also heard in NBA.
Yeah.
Or is it a thing? Or in NBA, it's totally different. One person is the club.
In recent years, the NBA is very star-driven.
Very star-driven.
Yeah.
But last time football, there's no one person that's bigger than the club. And in some way, in this case, the government's holding its ground, preserving it is really exactly, I think what you pointed out in the previous episode is what we need to do. Is in some ways it's saying that no one person is bigger than the country. It might just be an emotional response of seeing this non-stop thing going on. And also the fact that I was surprised that in the news cycle today, there isn't anything bigger than this in Singapore.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
So it's a mix of all that.
So when you say no one person is bigger than the country, right?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Lee Hsien Yang, Lee Hsien Loong, or Lee Kuan Yew himself?
Lee Kuan Yew.
Lee Kuan Yew himself.
Yeah. So in some way, preserving the house, going against his wishes, is standing a foot, which I think that was your stance, right?
That's my stance,
Yeah, but okay, so now I think I'm veering from extreme to extreme. In this case, I still feel that I don't think that is the best way, but I just want this thing to just get out of our attention.
Yeah.
But for you, any evolution of thought?
A lot of people are talking about how Lawrence Wong, it's a real headache for Lawrence Wong, right? This whole thing, how he's handling it. But in some way, maybe it's just something that he wouldn't want to become very deeply involved in it, right?
Yeah.
You got to let the institution sort of hold firm. It's kind of like, sometimes as an employer or as a boss, right, or a manager of people, there are times when you jump in and you do something, you make a decision or something is much faster and more efficient for everyone. But you have to resist doing that, and you have to let your team or let the people that you work with or who work for you, you got to let them do it, right? You got to let them answer the email. You got to let them, to handle the negotiations and everything. And you have to be seen, you can't be seen externally as being driving stuff from behind the scenes either, right? Because at the end of the day, the public are going to look at institutions and see that, hey, they're all not, they've got no teeth. Ultimately, if it just boils down to Lawrence Wong's decision and it wasn't a studied thing across the different ministries, they're going to say that all our institutions don't have teeth, right? Whereas Lawrence Wong, if anything, he's the face of multilateral or multi-ministry task forces. He's the face of MMTFs, right?
Yeah, he's Mr. MMT.
Yeah. But that at that point in time, he was the main communicator of everything. But I think for an issue like this, where it's not of pressing national or urgency or anything like that, I don't think he should come forward and become the guy to have to explain everything about it.
Yeah, true.
And in some ways, seeing all the ministries and all that sort of each take their own piece, stake their own claim in the chess puzzle, I think this thing will just drag on for very long, but it should not be something that will define Lawrence Wong's tenure. That's what I think.
In some way, for all we know, Lawrence Wong, this is not even on his register.
Yeah.
He's like, yes, the internet is chattering and all, but there are so many other pressing things to deal with.
Yeah.
Rising cost of living, economy, war. So this probably is low on the to-do list.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
But the things that I found interesting is because on Friday, Lee Hsien Yang posted pushing PM Wong to make a decision and demolish, and he applied for the building to be demolished. Then I was thinking, oh shit, you mean anybody can apply for their building to be demolished? Or what determines it? So basically there is a form on the URA website that you can apply to demolish a building.
Yeah.
And of course it would involve the owner. So if you happen to be the owner, I guess that gives you the right to want to demolish your own building.
Yeah.
But the thing about, NHB doing a study and all, actually NHB did a very detailed study in 2018. And there is a PDF online that you can scan through, and it's actually very detailed. And like they go into like the history of Oxley, the different types of veranda that was popular around the time of the thing being built.
Yeah.
And it was very, very detailed.
Yeah.
So then I was thinking, hey, but why must they study it again? And then there was also a ministerial report that came out of the 2018 committee. But basically, right, as what I understand, NHB did all that research and presented its findings to the committee that then made their judgment.
Yeah.
But for a building to be preserved, right, it needs to be presented to the Preservation of Sites and Monuments Advisory Board, which is the PSM, which is under, that is part of NHB. So when URA gets a application to demolish a building, it either decides to keep it or demolish everything.
Yeah.
Unless there are calls for the site to be preserved. But NHB on its own cannot decide. It needs to go to the PSM, and then they make the call and they give their recommendation to MCCY.
Yeah.
And then MCCY, or like the minister in charge over there, makes the call, and the owner can still dispute. But I think if the owner if the owner appeals but is not accepted by the minister, within a year, the government can just get the land by the Land Acquisition Act.
I see.
Yeah, so basically all that has to happen, because I was thinking, so that whole NHB report is going to be part of what will be studied by the PSM, and then the recommendation will be made to MCCY, and then Tong Tong will decide.
Yeah.
And then Lee Hsien Yang can still be like, you know what, I don't want this to be preserved. Tong Tong can say no, and then the government can just acquire the land within 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would they pay for it?
New to me. I don't know. They didn't say how much they can pay. That will be paid. So the government has 1 year from the date of the order to acquire the property under the Land Acquisition Act. I'm not sure what they would pay. I think generally it is what, market value or something?
I would suppose so. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that lah. And if it is not acquired, the order will cease within 1 year. So basically, there are all these processes in place, which I guess makes sense. Can you imagine if, like, let's say you own some building, and I'll be like, you know what, I think they should be preserved. And let's say if the government agrees, they can't just be like, okay, Terrence, fuck off. We're going to preserve this, right?
Yeah.
So there needs to be this 1 year thing where you have a right to appeal, but the ministry can still say no based on the evidence that is there.
Yeah.
Or the merit. And there are 2 buildings in Singapore that have actually like former homes that are national monuments. No? Do you have any idea?
I believe one is the Chiang Kai-shek, is it?
What's that?
The Chiang Kai-shek is the former president of the Republic of China.
Oh.
Who I believe had a property here in Singapore.
I mean, there's someone who's from China that has a former home that is now a national monument, the Sun Yat-sen.
Sorry, Sun Yat-sen. I was thinking Sun Yat-sen.
What was the first one you said?
Chiang Kai-shek.
Chiang Kai-shek?
The leader of the Kuomintang. Yeah.
Okay, what?
Okay, it's a Chinese. I just remember Taiwan, China.
Okay, but just a TLDR.
The party that broke away from mainland China.
Okay.
Went to Taiwan.
So he had a property here.
No. I made a mistake. I was thinking of the Sun Yat-sen property. My mind went to Taiwan for some reason.
Whoa. The Sun Yat-sen Nanyang Memorial Hall and the house of Tan Yeok Nee. But both of them were not homes when they were gazetted.
Yeah.
So the Sun Yat-sen Memorial Hall it's used by the Singapore Chinese Chamber of Commerce in the past, and then since 2009 has been managed by the NHB under appointment by the Singapore Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The house of Tan Yeok Nee has been acquired by the British Colonial Administration. So now it is the headquarters of the Salvation Army.
I see.
Or at least that's what it was in 1974 when it was gazetted. So there's this whole process that will need to be undertaken. Which also means that in a few weeks, we'll hear Tong Tong's decision on this. And there'll be a whole slew of drama again.
It'll have to be in a few weeks.
Yeah, because I think the PSM will take like some time to decide whether or not it should be preserved. Or maybe it's few weeks, maybe few months. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't
3 weeks sounds
imagine.
quite urgent. Sounds like quite...
Oh yeah, but the urgency is false.
yeah, because there isn't even a parliamentary sitting in like December or anything, right?
Ah, that's true. That's true.
To debate this or anything.
Yeah, and I mean the reason why they want this to be studied is because, in Tong Tong's words, or like the PSM's words, demolishing 38 Oxley Road now will rule out a proper and full consideration of the options presented in the 2018 Ministerial Committee report.
Yeah.
Because they did say there are a few different things you can do.
Yeah.
But they didn't say which one to do.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was at least something interesting from this whole argument thing.
But I mean, the NHB has acknowledged, right, in their statement also, that there's a very diverse range of views among Singaporeans on this matter. From what you've heard from talking to people or even stuff I don't want to go online, but when talking to people, what's the general sentiment that you felt about Oxley Road now?
So I haven't spoken to too many people about this, but I think the ones I spoke to were saying they should preserve it.
Preserve it?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But I also think they are from the older generation.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not to say that older generations are all about sentimentality and all, but I think they were also in Singapore around the time of the PAP being formed and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting. Because I've also spoken to people from older generations. The sentiment I've felt is that they should honor the wishes of Lee Kuan Yew and demolish it. So that's why I think NHB is right on the money. It is a very a lot of different views among Singaporeans on the matter. No matter how old you are or anything like that. No one can really agree or think that there's no one answer for this.
They should do the vote counting during the elections at 38 Oxley Road.
You mean like that be an election counting site?
Yeah, no, as in the night when the results are revealed.
Yeah.
Just count it there.
There itself, or announce it there or something? Yeah.
Count it, because remember announce it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, announce it there.
But what's the significance of that?
Just to find some way to tie in the election to this.
Oh, I thought you were going to suggest like doing a referendum or something, like a Brexit style referendum. Where,
referendum for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do think the quicker a decision is made as well, the sooner we can also everyone can just move on from this, right?
Yeah. Because now it's reaching a point where I think people are just getting sick of this.
Yeah.
There's probably so many people in the government who are in some way, shape or form having to do work related to this.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's just holy crap, man. Yeah. Come on, man.
Let's try to move on from this.
Let's try to move on. Yes.
There are a lot bigger things to worry about now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
For example, for the next story as well, right? This unfortunate Singaporean couple that had their very beautiful wedding proposal video ruined, right? And you would think it's ruined by someone external, a third party who came in, or a dog that shat in front of the proposal place and everything. But no, it was ruined by an enemy within.
Yeah.
And now it's come to public, it's come to the public, and it's quite a big story that's quite interesting, right?
Yeah. Because it was the proposal between this influencer couple.
Yeah.
Julian Lau and Benjamin Loh. So in terms of the timeline, I think a few days ago, they posted a reel on Instagram on October 16th. Two of them standing on a beach with what looked like a very starry sky.
Yeah.
But after that, you realize it was drones, doing the shape of.
Oh, you thought it was a stars?
The first
watched it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I already read that there was a drone show that was planned. But I think it looks like damn starry.
Yeah.
Then two of them, just very soft tones and K-drama lighting.
Yeah.
And clearly in love, and him proposing to her. And it was a voiceover, right? So the visuals were great, but it was voiced over, his voice saying how much he loves her and he promises to always be in love with her.
Yeah.
Then a few days ago, she posted 3 days ago, so 25th October, a video with the caption overlay he spent 4+K for the photo and video, and POV, your photographer thinks she's the main character of the proposal and missed the most important part of the engagement, because it kind of shows a BTS of that video where they're looking up, and then you can hear someone in the background, hey, okay, kneel, time to kneel. And then white shot. And then the last part is like, dear, your hair, move your hair, can see your face. Then she just moves her hair.
Yeah.
And then in the comments, everyone was shitting like, what is going on? Like, don't they know? How are these professional videographers? So then there was an Asia One article with the title, They Are Louder Than Us. Local content creator says photographers stalked over her and fiancé in proposal video.
Yeah.
So, Terence, why did you want to talk about this?
I thought it was she's an influencer, right?
Yeah.
And I believe she has ties to Hsien Hao and his massive Titan digital media company. I think she appears in his videos and whatever, goes on trips with them and all that as well. So influential person, right? To say the least. 100,000 followers on Instagram. For her to be calling out a photographer or videographer so publicly like this, not even like a bad review or something, but literally a video that she made, like sort of shaming the photographer or videographer, but not naming them, and even saying that there's a part 2 to this whole thing, kind of tells me that relationship must have soured a lot, right? Usually in production and all that, when you work with someone and all these things, you usually don't post the raw video, whatever you do with the production crew and all that. If it makes them look, reflects badly on them, right? Usually it's like some scandal, some sexual...
But technically, she didn't disclose which production house.
Correct. That's true. She didn't.
Yeah.
But the comments already, people are already inferring who.
Yeah.
And it's not a good look, regardless.
Yeah.
And, given your influence, all that, a lot of people are going to see this video. And now mainstream media has picked up on it as well, right?
Yeah.
So it must be quite a bad situation. But we only see this piece of the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the relationship soured for some other reasons, money or negotiating something somewhere along the line. There's some general dissatisfaction. Because she also posted the proposal video, the actual proposal video itself, right? Which I assume was done by that company.
Yeah.
But now they're coming out and saying that they're not, like, almost saying that, like, they're not happy about it, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's more than meets the eye here, Yeah.
But then you think it's a collab or not between said supposed production house and this person. Okay, so basically, right, what I found a bit weird is because when you watch the video, you can hear the crew, like saying, hey, white shot. But then you can also hear the couple speaking in like a lower volume, which means that there were mics on them, right? So, I mean, for people who maybe are not the most familiar with like recording videos to create videos where, scripted series or basically things where the audio quality is good, the camera will pick up the ambient sound.
Yes.
But normally you would use the track from the mics on the talent or the people, the subject of the video. And normally, if they are far enough, they don't cannibalize each other. So in this case, because they were talking to each other and saying, is this it? Blah, blah. I would imagine that the mic was focused on them and didn't pick up the crew shot. So now I'm thinking, wait, is it just that, like, it felt like, okay, so even my wedding, right?
Yeah.
The wedding shoot, sometimes they would try to direct but because we both had mics, in the end during the edit, they just used our mics.
That's right.
That was on us.
Yeah.
And whatever that was picked up by the camera, they removed it. So in this case, felt like you could hear both. So then I'm like, that's a bit weird.
So what you're saying is that maybe it could be incompetence on the side of the production house that doesn't know how to mix the audio properly. Because there seems like what you're saying is that there were separate audio tracks recorded for the bride, the couple.
Yeah.
And, the audio track, the so-called scratch audio track, technical term, on the camera, right? So you're saying that maybe they don't know how to do the mix properly and they just put all the audio tracks inside.
I say maybe it was a collab.
Or they're meant to appear in the video together.
And part 2 is the reveal that, yo guys, this is the best production house ever and shit like that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I would trust that, okay, they're paying 4K for just a proposal video.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a small
they said they paid, right?
Yeah, they paid 4K.
So it's not like...
I mean, in the world of collab, Terence.
Okay.
You believe everything you read online.
Possible. Yeah, okay.
So that's just like putting it out there. But in the sense also, the video, at the end, there's Hsien Hao and his wife there.
Yeah.
So it felt like this doesn't feel like an intimate proposal.
maybe it's not so much the intimacy lah, but I think what might have happened is that they wanted there was the proposal video. Maybe they weren't happy with the final result, and then they asked for the raw capture of the video.
And then they edit together.
And the raw capture of video, I mean, if you're just sending it to somebody, maybe the production house just like, oh, here's all the audio and the video together lah. And if you don't if you don't go into the editing program and strip down each track to individual voices and all that, it all comes together lah. Then, someone who watches it and then doesn't realize that you can edit the audio tracks or that, thinks that the photographer's voice and all that was recorded in there as well. So that's what I'm saying. There could have been a misunderstanding, but it must have stemmed from some kind of disagreement between the production house and them earlier that they would want to see the raw file. Because usually, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think your videographer also didn't give you like the full raw files, right?
I think if you want, you have to pay.
Yeah, you have to pay extra.
Yeah, you have to pay extra.
And I think it usually comes with a caveat that, this is really unedited. So don't take it, don't like judge us based on it, right?
Yeah.
But here is the raw footage that they are being judged on, which I feel, I would love to hear that side of the story. It seems a bit unfair for them if this happened.
So there'll be part 2. They'll be like, sit down on the couch. This week has been really tough. But this week's going to be better because of
correct.
Presenting like that.
Yeah. But I mean, ultimately, okay, so in her comments, I mean, in the caption of her video, she said, you capture the moment as it happens to the best of your ability. Wow. Oh, this is a comment, sorry. But it was a comment that's quite well liked, over 100 over likes. They're saying, you should be capturing the moment as it happens to the best of your ability while remaining at a distance. Then, if you feel like you didn't get the ideal shot where you could perfectly see your face or whatever, recreate the down on the knee moment after the fact. Don't ruin the actual moment for the couple as it's happening. What do you think about that, man? That someone saying that the photographer should not ruin the moment by, giving directions.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. But I can't look at this and think like, this whole concept of like having so many people around you, camera crew during a proposal, to me already is mind blowing.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not standing there thinking, oh, what's gonna happen now? Are we just gonna stare at the drone or something? So first of all, it's just a mind blowing thing. But if that really was the case where he had not knelt down yet and the person behind the camera was saying, kneel now, okay, that's a bit weird
But maybe, like my wedding, right? I remember my photographer. In fact, my photographer probably was like the one who was giving a lot of directions to us, like telling us what needs to happen every step of the way. Like, oh, someone needs to come here and you need to pass oranges to someone, then someone will open the door for you, then you pass him oranges and you give him ang pao. And, I wouldn't even know all these things myself, right?
Yeah.
Maybe in the sense that the photographer was just trying to help out, maybe the groom is very clueless, he doesn't know what is happening, and you got to kneel at this point.
I think because the wedding is a very almost ceremonial thing, there's the extreme, they follow you. But if it's an intimate thing, then what? Like the first time, you all consummate or something, then
you have a photographer there as well.
I mean, assuming you never consummate before, but then it becomes a thing. Yeah, so I think the wedding process and all, even for my wife and I, for the church wedding, there are certain things that the photographers themselves are, if not somewhat more familiar than at least definitely me.
Correct.
And they kind of know what's happening, so they know how to position themselves. But in this case, the proposal, right? This one does feel like imagine if your proposal, when you were proposing to your wife, and there was a photographer, hey, Terrence, the sunlight angle now good. No cloud, good out.
Yeah.
It's a bit off, right?
It's a bit off, But at the same time, she's an influencer. She's in the industry. This is how, productions work, right?
Yeah.
There's always a director giving instructions. They always ask you to change your position because of lighting on the camera. Like that. They're also doing their best to maximize, to make it look as good as possible, right? The shot. They're not doing anything. They're not trying to ruin your wedding night. So I also feel that comment that I read earlier was a bit harsh. They're not deliberately trying to ruin the actual moment. if anything, they were being very proactive, maybe overbearing in some ways, in terms of trying to get a couple to capture the best kind of shots of them.
Yeah.
But at that maybe they forgot that sound also is the intimacy of the moment, the sacredness of the moment can be ruined by shouting, white shot, that kind of thing, right? Which is sometimes as a director, maybe they get excited, they forget. So
No, but
I feel a bit, I feel bad for the production company in some way,
But that's why this whole thing feels like it was less of a, proposal that way, but it was more like, okay, creating the perfect proposal for video.
Correct, yeah.
Which then feels a bit like, then is less about something like that was raw and authentic. It's more like they had an idea of what they wanted to look like. They briefed the production house, and the production house is really directing them,
Yeah. I mean, I have to admit that the guy didn't look like he remembered to kneel. He looked like he was about to they will just continue to check out the drones and didn't realize that he's supposed to kneel or something, right?
So that's why the whole thing is very surreal. So I mean, to me, it's just weird. But I mean, they got a lot of views out of this. So I mean, see maybe if there's a burnout, if there's a part 2. That would be funny
But do you think the whole drones thing looked pretty impressive in the video?
Yeah.
It must have been it's not just a few. It's probably quite a lot of drones that they hired to do this.
Yeah, exactly. Because
and then you got to program them and everything, right?
And there was they recreated the image of a ring, a guy proposing to a girl, and it makes sense that there are drone for hire companies that can do this, but it was quite a spectacle.
Yeah, but I've also seen companies use AI to recreate this kind of thing. It's not real, but they just use a picture or video of the skyline and then they somehow use AI to make it look like there's a drone.
You mean in post-production?
In post-production, yeah.
Oh, shit.
As recent as this National Day, I think there were some companies in Singapore that used the Singapore skyline and then they showed video of a drone production kind of thing. But a lot of people were debunking in the comments are saying that it can't be because there was no crowd and everything.
But this one they're looking up there in the video.
Correct. And
directed. Hey, look, imagine there's a drone there.
Yeah. And you thought it was all stars anyway, so they must have been there. They must
For
have
the first few seconds, Terrence. First few seconds.
But But I mean, I also feel you watched the video, right? Do you think it was ruined by the fact that they were more heavily directed?
I think I wouldn't say ruined because it felt like that was the setup in and of itself.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like the crew was intruding or stepping over a line.
It was already out there in the open. If Jian Hao was appearing in your proposal video, he could actually take over your video if anyone.
Yeah. So that's why this whole thing feels like right from the start, it was something where this was like a production,
Yeah.
So when they did that, I'm like, okay, it would feel weird if they didn't step in.
Yeah.
Like the hair covering the face,
Correct,
and they just let it be. Yeah. You?
I thought it was a pretty decent video. I mean,
with the voiceover,
the voiceover a bit cheesy because it's very obviously after the fact. Usually, most proposal videos, usually the wedding videos have this voiceover. It's a very standard wedding trope, right?
Yeah.
But proposal videos, not so much. But I guess for them, it was important to really express in words what their love for each other was, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel, maybe they shouldn't pursue this any further because it just puts a just leaves everyone a bad taste in the mouth, right?
Unless it's a collab.
Unless there's a bigger reveal to it.
It's a bigger reveal. That Hsien Yang is starting his wedding video production company.
That will be better than this. Right? Where they will be shouting at you to kneel down.
Yeah. Funnies, yeah. But yeah, man.
But congrats to Julene and Ben. But yeah, maybe next time just need to brief the videographer more earlier, right?
Yeah.
They also got a lot of good photos from it. I think the photos also captured a lot of
quite nice,
how the drone formations are, right?
Yeah.
So at least they got what the visuals are nice, lah. The audio is funny, lah. The audio is funny.
Yeah, that's why. The audio is funny, yeah. And I mean, 4K plus for that, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I never understood that kind of get a whole crew and all your friends around to propose.
Correct. I mean, at the end of the day, all these people that work in the Titan Digital Media and Jian Hao, that circle, I think they live in quite alternate reality from the rest of Singapore, right? I mean, as in they are living very successful lives and big channel, very well known and everything, and filming, making a lot of shows that have very far reach. But it's very different from what regular Joe's lives experiences are like that, right?
Yeah.
Right, so,
I mean, in some way, when we hang out with like the younger people in the industry, like they're so natural at just Insta-storying that moment.
Yeah.
It's almost part and parcel of living.
You want to say disruptive? I think that is way more intrusive and disruptive. Every time we're just trying to have a convo or a meeting with one of these young creators or that, somehow the camera will come out and then it will derail conversation.
Or like someone tells a joke, hey,
yeah. So, that's the ultimate reality.
Look at us two uncles just talking about the younger generation like that.
Maybe not so much younger generation, just the content creators.
Content creators. Salties, yeah. But yeah, man.
But yeah,
cool.
Other than that, what has been your one Shiok comment last few days?
My one Shiok comment was on Reddit for episode 580. Grab reverts to the 5-day office work week and Singapore ranks 3rd worldwide in burnout.
Yeah.
So there was a comment by Sarasti11 on Reddit. So it just goes, hi Yalabat team, I've been an ardent listener for the past few years. Love the work you guys put out and I was happy to have caught Harish at E27 earlier in the year. Terrence was actually working and was busy, so I could not say hello to him. Joking. But basically on the topic of burnout, the poster and a friend are actually creating a board game called Burnout. So they've launched a waitlist at burnoutgame.com and I checked it out. And I mean, looks quite interesting.
Yeah.
The title is Work's a Joke Anyway, so why not make it a game? Toxic work culture meets mental health in our upcoming board game Burnout. So I mean, interesting visuals. They have a wait list. I mean, check it out, show them some love. I think they're launching a Kickstarter in March or April 2025. So all the best to them, man. Always good to see people, create something out of like an issue or a problem or something they care about. Yeah. So kudos to you guys, man.
Yeah, I checked it out also. Yeah. Looks
interesting.
Yeah, looks fun.
Looks fun. What about you, man?
Mine's from YouTube, where Hunt D6R a couple of days ago in reply to us talking about the McDonald's in the US when Trump worked at McDonald's. We talked about what the conditions of McDonald's were like. So this person said, haha, reminds me about the McDonald's at 40th Street right beside UPenn. The McDonald's has bulletproof windows. Yeah. So that's actually the experience that Harish and I have with McDonald's.
That's the McDonald's we were talking about.
That's the McDonald's exactly. That always comes to mind or in our discussions when we talk about how shitty McDonald's are in the US. Right?
I never knew it was bulletproof windows, but it makes total sense.
It makes total sense. Yeah. I remember a lot of homeless people staying inside. Yeah. But that 40th Street McDonald's, which I believe has been demolished already.
Oh, is it?
Unlike Oxley Road, it has already been demolished because it has zero architectural significance to the town. In fact, it was a scourge of the community.
And then there was a grocery store next to it, which I forgot the name.
Fresh Grocer.
That's
right. But that was nice.
That was nice. That was
a
really
nice place to shop for groceries.
Yeah. It was 24 hours, is it?
24 hours. A bit like
really good.
A bit like a Fair Price Finance kind of feel to it. Right?
Yeah. It's really good.
But that 40th Street stretch is that was when we were studying there, that was the border of where the university ended, right? Then beyond that, it started to get a bit shady already.
Yeah, so I lived beyond that.
You were cool, right? You were too cool. Living in a frat house.
I was too cool. I was living on the edge, man.
Yeah.
Living on the edge. It was not a frat house, Terrence.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Hunter D6R.
Yeah.
And what is your one Shiok thing?
My one Shiok thing is a kind of a music group that I first heard of back in 2008 that I recently started listening to a lot again, because their music is awesome. So it's this South African male choral group called Ladysmith Black Mambazo. So it's basically a male chorus. They've been around since the 1960s. Basically, the guy who started it, Joseph Shabalala, he formed it because of a series of dreams he had in 1964.
Yeah.
In which he heard a few harmonies that were tradition of the Zulu people.
Okay.
So he got a bunch of his family together and they formed this group and they've been performing for a long time. And by some chance in 2008, I actually watched them perform live when I was doing some internship in South Africa. And
Okay.
I love their music, but recently I just started listening to their music and it's very calming.
Okay.
And they perform all around the world. They've won a bunch of Grammys. And if there's one song that I would recommend, which I will link, is this song called Hello My Baby. It's just a very calming song. It's very nice. It's very it's a beautiful song. And I think I have it on my Spotify playlist called Calm the Fuck Down playlist. Yeah,
okay.
so it's that kind of music. It's very chill. The album is Shaka Zulu from the 80s. But yeah, it's an awesome song. I'll try and find a video because the way they perform is also very captivating.
I see.
Ladysmith Black Mambazo.
That's cool. Cool.
What about you, man?
My one Shiok comment is this video from a channel called Man-Made. And this video, I think, was also recommended to me by J.D. Chua, the director who's been on Yellowbird before. Video titled Building a Tiny Office Pot Under My Stairs. I'm not sure you've seen it, but it's got about over 6 million views after 3 weeks. But basically, it's this guy who, he used to be from a channel that I believe they built like, not say sets, but they built like game show kind of sets on YouTube and they became quite big. I can't remember the name of the channel, but he has come out himself and started his own channel called Man-Made. And this one starts, this video is of him building a little office pot under his stairs. So the little triangle underneath the staircase, he built an office pot where you can literally lie there and do work basically in a seated position. And it's quite funny because it's really in a position where you're really slotted in under the stairs and you got the computer screen and everything like on the ceiling staring back down at you.
So his background is what?
I believe he was part of this larger channel that created these kind of sets for YouTube that, almost like Mr. Beast-ish kind of sets or what do you call it, the Dude Perfect kind of sets, right?
Yeah.
Where there was almost like game show elements to it. And then now he's on his own. And I mean, his first video was just like 4 months ago. I left 7 million subs to build my dream garage workshop. So yeah, this is just his third video on his channel.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
This is damn cool, man.
So I haven't even watched the whole thing because it's already like 50 minutes, but it's just cool to just leave it on and you be doing your laundry and then watching this guy just
oh shit,
really building an office underneath.
And you just go to the end, it looks pretty slick, man.
Yeah, it's slick and it slides in and out and people are very impressed, right?
Holy shit.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. So shout out to JD for pointing this video my way.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
First one in the Deepavali week.
Deepavali week, man.
Got 2 more coming up. Maybe one will be a quite interesting guest, I believe.
Yeah, correct.
So hopefully all that pans out.
That pans out. All right, man. Thanks everybody for listening. And remember, if you enjoyed this or any of our other episodes, please share it with at least one person who may not have heard of us. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. And what else, Terence?
If you want to work with us, email us at contact@ministryoffunny.com or visit ministryoffunny.com.
Talk to y'all soon.